What's up, gamers? The Red Dragon here, and we are taking a look at some Battlefield 3 footage, flying in a jet. So some news coming across the wire that I just saw a little bit earlier. They said that they are getting ready to release some patch updates for Battlefield 3, some tweaks and balance changes coming. I don't necessarily know all the details, so I'm just going to hold off, and as soon as we get that list, I'll push that out to you. But you know, the cool thing to do is to, you know, make news, telling the news people that you're about to make news. So you gotta forewarn them. I thought that was pretty funny. I was getting ready to target that guy, and they hit midair, and that you would be surprised at all the space that you have to travel, how often that actually happens, and I even do it. You know, a lot of times I don't know why. You just feel like the other person's gonna move, and I guess you're playing chicken, and they don't end up moving. Or I'm bad about doing it to helicopters on accident, really. Some people do it on purpose, and that's what they used to do, just to take you down. I don't like to do that if I can pull up and get away from it, but sometimes I guess I'm just like a deer in headlights or something. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just don't want to pull up or turn. But you know, one thing that I want to talk about during the course of this video, as far as jets are concerned, is, you know what I miss about jets? I miss the dummy bombs. Used to in Battlefield, if you haven't played past Battlefield games with jets in them, used to you would have dummy bombs, so you wouldn't have to lock onto anything, and you just run over an area, drop them out, and it took a lot of skill to do. Well, yeah, you even played it probably on 1943 if you're a fairly recent player to the Battlefield series. So a lot of you are probably familiar with that, and I actually thought that was a great way for jets to be effective. The way it is right now, jets just don't do a whole lot of work, and you know, sometimes you get good gameplay footage. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret about commentators, okay? Or at least this commentator. So I'm just going to talk about me personally. Maybe some people are godly out there all the time, but most of the games aren't that exciting. It's just like whenever you get on and play, sometimes you get in the zone, and I mean, you're just killing it, and good games are just coming out the yin-yang. And then other times it's just like where you go 3-0, 4-0, and that's it. So some of us, just because we do YouTube commentaries and stuff, doesn't mean we're great players. At least I'm not. It doesn't mean that I don't get good footage occasionally. It doesn't mean that you know, I don't, you know, pick up good advice to pass along to the normal player. It's just saying not every game is a godly game. And this is one of those where I went like, I think 2-0. It's not a whole lot of action, but our team was getting killed. But sometimes you just want to, you know, cruise around and have a good time and work on your piloting skills a little bit. But anyway, as a YouTube commentator, what I was going to say is, when you're recording all this footage, you have the luxury to go back and pull out clips that were good, and so you can piece them together. So it is a lot of work. A lot of people think that, you know, you can just, oh, I'll just get a video recorder and I'll, you know, jump on YouTube and be awesome at it. But it is a whole lot of work, and it does take a lot of time and patience, especially when you're not, you know, godly at playing video games. And when you're just an average player, like I am, you know, I don't claim to be MLG or none of that. I just like to play and have a good time, and I like to share my experiences, and I like for people to game and have a good time. You know, I like for people to have that same experience that I get from it. And when people, you know, get on and play and they say, well, I'm just terrible at video games and I can't enjoy it, it's like, well, that's a terrible life if you can't enjoy video games. So I think it's a great form of entertainment. It's cheap, doesn't hurt anybody, and so I like to pass along tips to, you know, help out the average player or below average player. So wow, I know I've jumped around a lot this morning, or this evening, I guess, depending on when you're viewing this. But I really miss the dummy bombs. Another thing that I wish they would implement in Battlefield is a joystick for flying the jets. I think if you took like an Ace Combat joystick, even on the consoles, you could implement that easily on the jets, and it would totally change the way people fly, and it just makes it so much more fun and interactive whenever you have a joystick that you can fly with. Everybody knows you can fly better on the PC if you have a joystick, and the same thing goes for the consoles. I believe if they implemented that, it would make a world of difference. But right now, as far as the dummy bombs are concerned, if I go back to that for a second, if you had dummy bombs, I just think the jets would be a lot more effective. Because as it stands right now, you don't have a whole lot of action a lot of times when you're in the jet. Occasionally you do. You have games, you know, where you may do awesomely well in a jet. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, the way I experience is it's just like this. Sometimes you get behind planes to shoot them down. Sometimes the enemy isn't even getting off the ground. And, you know, other times you're just kind of cruising around not doing anything, especially on consoles. Let me stress that a lot of my videos are directed towards consoles. So I always have PC players say, no, it's nothing like that. You know, what game are you playing? So I'm obviously playing on Xbox if you're looking at the screen. And so a lot of my commentary is directed towards that. Although a lot of my tips can in effect be taken for PC or console. If you think that dummy bombs should be brought back to Battlefield, you know, it wasn't the most realistic thing in the world, but I thought it was fun, and I thought it worked great. The system, you know, if you wanted more bombs, you could cruise over the runway and repair yourself or pick up more bombs, and so I think it leveled out the playing field a lot, you know, and to counter it, all you'd have to do is put a few more anti-air batteries on the map as well, and I think you've got a good system where you've got people who want to get in the jets to do a lot of hard work, but you've still got people on the ground who can easily take out those jets. And I thought the balance was great in 1943, and so I'd like to see that implemented in Battlefield 3. So flying is definitely a big part of the game and of the series. You know, it was a big selling point whenever Battlefield 3 was getting ready to release, so why not make the most of the jets? So there you go. There is an average game. That's a common game for me. You know, nothing special, but occasionally you hit those gold mines. But anyway, I appreciate you watching, and if you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Take care.